Washington Post had a very interesting piece just a couple of days ago on precisely this subject. Are tech bros really being debanked? And the answer, I think, that they came up with was probably true. Not exactly. It may happen in certain instances, but there's no evidence of a concerted effort by any administration to truly debank founders and their companies. There was literally just hit the pause button. We don't have our rules set up. When we have them, ideally, well, I guess maybe I'm adding that when we have them ideally part. That wasn't specifically referred to in the letters, but I'm inferring that, at some point they would have to address these issues. And so, yeah, I think it's just another example of tech people going direct to an audience. I actually think this is really fascinating because it plays into not just a piece of news, but also a much bigger issue within media in general, which is that tech founders and people with large platforms on social media have found it useful to bypass the filter of the traditional media or even the crypto media in this instance, so that they can go direct to the audience with a narrative that benefits them. And we've seen numerous examples of this. Obviously, we've seen Elon Musk do precisely that. I mean, people wondered why he bought Twitter. That's why. So he could go direct to an audience, manipulate that audience to whatever whim he had. No matter how stupid his management of Twitter, the purchase of it, I don't think, was done. And you've seen this with Mark Andreessen. I mean, Nick Carter himself is a venture capitalist. This is not uncommon these days. And the narrative that they produced in this case is evidence that the Biden administration was, basically holding them down underwater while they struggled for air and all this kind of stuff. I don't believe it. I've read those letters. What I see in those letters, what I see in the FOIA stuff that Paul Greenwald, and by the way, celebrity lawyers, I got no fucking time for. But what I see in those FOIA requests is the FDIC basically saying we need to hit the pause button here. We have not got regulatory clarity. We do not have the rules and regulations that we need to provide safe, sound banking. Could they have accelerated that process? Very possibly. Is there a mini narrative here, like a little thing where maybe they were told, just hold off a little bit? Maybe. No. But the whole debanked narrative to me is, it's a bit shady. And we're talking here, I think, primarily about companies that were trying to offer crypto platforms like lending, staking, earning, whatever it may be, directly to consumers, and probably exchanges too. I'm sure Coinbase is represented in these letters too. And I know that individuals have actually lost access to their own personal bank accounts as a result of having multiple crypto transactions come in, and that's very different. They have a very different view on that. But when these kind of tech venture capitalists are basically whining and crying and saying, oh, it's not fair, I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm going to go whine to an audience of 1 million people, and then the media is going to pick that